Hi, kindergarten. It is Mrs. Shivani from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship. How are you guys today? I hope that you are doing really well. I am super excited to teach you guys Module 1, Lesson 2 today. We did our first math lesson the other day, and now we are ready for Lesson 2, which is super exciting. So just like our previous math lesson, we will have 5 parts of math. Our fluency, which helps us review and make sure our brains stay nice and sharp. Then we'll have our application problem, which is just like a warm-up for the main part of our lesson, part 3, which is concept development. Then we'll have our student debrief where we'll chat a little bit about what we learned, and then you'll get to do your exit ticket and your Google form. So those are the 5 steps of our lesson today. And today we are working on comparing objects and deciding these are the same, but so we're going to start to analyze, which means to look at small differences in objects. And we're going to have to really use our critical thinking skills to decide how these objects are just a little different from each other. But we're going to start off with some counting and some fluency. So you ready? All right, let me share my screen with you guys and we will get started. Today, what you will need is something to count with, just like our last video. And you will probably want, you might want like a piece of paper or something to write with, but you may not need that. You may just want to have something to count with and like your hand, just your hand. I was trying to think, is that it today? But yes, I think that's it. And we're going to be comparing some objects on the screen with me so you can follow along right with me, okay? All right, let me make this nice and big for you guys so that you can see really well. And it always likes to do this for some reason on me. I always have to share it twice, but no problem. Okay, here we go. So our goal today will be to analyze to find similar objects, and we're going to use a special sentence, which I'll tell you about later on in the concept development. Okay, here we go with our fluency. Let's practice counting to 3 using our beans here on the screen, or if you have something else, you can use that to count along with me too. Okay, first, help me count these beans, and I'm gonna put them on those circles right below the hand. Here we go, count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when we touch and count each object, that's called one-to-one correspondence. And that is really an important skill in kindergarten. So I want you to practice doing that, touching and counting each object. Even if you want to take your finger right now and touch whatever device you are watching this on and touch and count those beans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, all together. Okay, now think. Do you think that I could put all 5 of these beans on that hand? How many fingers do I have? How many beans do I have? Could I put one bean on each finger and have enough? Let's try. So I'm going to put 1 bean, 2 beans, 3 beans, and you can do this along with me too if you have your own. 4 beans, 5 beans. Did I have enough? Yes, I have 5 beans and 5 fingers, so I was able to put 1 bean on each hand. Cool. I was going to just have us count to 3, but I thought, hey, these kids are so good at math. I think they can count all the way to 5. So nice work. Let's do the next one. Ooh, show me fingers to 3. This one's fun. We're going to pop these balloons, and I want you to hold up that many fingers on your hand. We're going to go quick. Okay, you ready? 1. Nice. 2. Great. 3. Nice. Okay, now you do it by yourself. 2. Nice. 3. Yes. 1. Good work. Okay, now this time, let's try and hold up our fingers in a little bit of a different way. So see if you can do this. See if you can take your pinky to represent 1 and your pinky and your ring finger to represent 2. And then your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle finger to represent 3. This could be a little bit challenging, even for me, but let's give it a try. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good work. You guys were good at that game. I know. All right, let's do one more fun, or we have 2 more fun warm-ups, I think. Okay, now this one's fun. I'm going to show you some fingers that are behind these yellow rectangles. I want you to count and tell me how many you see. So I already did this first one for you so we could do it together. I removed the yellow box and I see, just like we were practicing, 2 fingers. So you would just tell me 2. It is called subitizing, when you're able to just quickly look at something and know how many there are without counting. So that's what we're working on today. That's the skill. This is a very important skill in math. Ready for the next one? 0. 1. 3. Remember, you're blurting. So when I move the yellow rectangle, you can blurt out how many. Ready? Blurt. 0. Let's go down below. Blurt. 3. Blurt. 1. Blurt. 2. Blurt. 0. Blurt. 3. Good one. My students always love games like this in the classroom, and I do too. All right, now this is called a rec in rec. It's kind of hard for me to say. Rec in rec. And what you do with this is we can slide these beads down and practice counting up and down. So let's do that together. Ready? 1, 2, blurt. 3. Good. Now let's bring them back and we'll count down. 3, 2, blurt. 1. Good. Let's do that one more time, this time faster, and you do it now. I'm not going to do it with you guys. Good. 1, 2, 3. Counting up. Now let's count down. I want to hear you. 1. Good. 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. All right. Now we're going to that was our fluency. Now we're going to get into our application problem, which is the warm-up for our lesson. So here we go. Jeremy has 3 marbles. Show his 3 marbles below. Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3. Count these marbles with me, and if you have something to count, can you set out 3 of those as well? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now in math, I always like to go back and check my answer to be sure I did it correctly, because it's really easy to make a mistake in math. If you're in kindergarten or if you're an adult like me, it's easy to make a mistake. So let's count again to make sure we have 3. 1, 2, 3. We did it. Good work. Okay, here we go. So today in our concept development, we are going to talk about objects that are similar. That means they are not exactly the same, but they do have some things in common, some things that are the same about them. So we're going to compare a wide variety of objects, and we're going to use this sentence. They are the same, but, and we'll talk about how they are different from each other. Does that sound good? All right, here we go. So let's look at these two balls. They are the same because they're both balls. But this is a beach ball, and this is a basketball. Dribble, 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 shoot, shoot. That reminds me of a go noodle I like to do in the classroom. So they are the same because they're balls. But this is a beach ball, and that's a basketball. All right, let me hear you try to do this next one by yourself. What do you see below? Blurt. Pencils. Are they exactly the same? No, they're not exactly the same. We were able to talk about that in our last lesson. These are not exactly the same. They are the same because they're both pencils. But how are they different? Tell me. Blurt. Yeah, one is long, like this one. Looks like it's a brand new pencil. And this one is short. Looks like it's been used a lot. Maybe this is a pencil we have used since the beginning of the school year, and it's like October now and we need to get new pencils. So these are the same because they're pencils, but they're not exactly the same because one is long and one is short. Let's do another one. Ooh, what do you see below? Blurt. Cups. Yeah, drinking, things we drink out of. Are they exactly the same? No, they're not exactly the same. These are the same because they're both cups, but how are they different? Tell me. Well, one is a cup you would probably drink juice or milk or something cold out of. Water. And this is like a mug. You would probably drink hot chocolate or tea or hot apple cider, or maybe your parents might drink coffee out of a mug like this. So these are the same because they're both cups. They're both used for drinking. But this is a cup for cold liquids, and this is a cup for warm liquids. Next. Ooh, what do you see below? Blurt. Cats. Are they exactly the same or not exactly the same? They're not exactly the same. They're the same because they're both cats. But, Blurt. Yes, one is a black cat with a hunched back. He looks a little spooky. And this looks like a very friendly cat with brown or tannish skin, fur, I should say. So they are the same because they're both cats. But this one's black and this one's tan. So they're different colors. So we're comparing the way things are used, we're comparing their colors, we're comparing lots of different attributes. All right, let's do another one. What do you see below? Flowers. Yes, are they exactly the same? No, none of these things are exactly the same, huh? They're the same because they're both flowers, but yeah, one is yellow and one is red, and they're different kinds of flowers, right? You guys are getting so good at this. All right, now let's look at our student debrief. This was a quick lesson today. I loved comparing those objects with you. Let's think about these animals down below now. Can you make up a sentence about the cats using they are the same, but we're... Yeah, they are the same because they're cats, but one is standing up and one is sitting down. What about the bears? Can you make a sentence up about them? They are the same, but one is laying down and one is sitting up. Yeah, nice one. What about the sheep? This one's silly. Can you make a sentence up about those? They are the same because they're sheep, but one has his tongue inside his mouth and the other is sticking their tongue out. And what about the monkeys? Can you make a sentence up about these? They are the same, but one has their hands on their mouth and the other has their hands on their head or their ears, maybe. Good one. All right, I think that was the last part. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen share now. And I'm going to show you the next part of our lesson, which is the last part, our exit ticket. Remember, the exit ticket tells us teachers, what did you learn from this lesson? And who saw the lesson, who completed the lesson. It gives us a lot of information. So let me go on over to Google Forms and share this, show you what you will be doing. This is a pretty easy one. So you will see this screen right here, and I want you to talk with someone at home about these objects. There's 6 of them. They're like more like shapes. Think about how you could match them up, and then use the language, these are the same, but when you're working on matching, and choose a sentence below that's true. So, which sentence is true? The pairs are the same, but one has dots on the side and one does not. Or the stars are exactly the same. Which one of those is true? You will choose which one's true, and then you'll click submit, and you'll send it off to your teachers. So that is our math lesson for the day. We warmed up with some fluency. We did counting to 3, counting down from 3. We did a lot of analyzing different objects and deciding these are the same, but, and then we wrapped it up with our Google form. Great work today, you guys. I will see you next time for lesson 3. Adios.